Oh, welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me here this evening, right at about 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Not too shabby, doing better. I'm happy that I'm here with you guys. And there are so many shows you guys have been asking me for, and I haven't been sure which ones I wanted to do, which ones I didn't want to do. But last night, someone was talking to me about the idea of, kind of understanding what some of these people mean when they speak and liking that idea and kind of, I guess, interpreting what they mean. And recently, my governor, Kathy Hochul, first of her name, banisher of the population, she made a very important speech regarding cameras, red light cameras. Very important. Signing legislation, going to save the world, all the things. Now, you might say to yourself, wait a minute, Larry, there's a lot of important things happening across the country, particularly in New York State. People are leaving, all kind of problems. So what's her focus? Well, her focus is, without question, red light cameras. She's signing, I'm not joking, 11 laws. 11. So you know what New York State needs right now, more than anything? 11 new laws. Now you might go, Larry, you're clearly the crazy one. No, if you go to Kathy Hochul's YouTube page, they now disable all comments. They don't even bother having anyone. They disable all comments because the comments on all of her things are so horrible. If you ever see her on Twitter, nothing but bad comments. She doesn't have any fans. It's just terrible comments because everything she does is just for her cronies. It's only for her cronies. But it's for the children, isn't it? Well, why don't you decide? How about you decide if it's for the children or not? Because maybe it is, but she says it is. So why don't we listen to her speak and you'll tell me how you feel and if maybe she's, convinced you that she cares. Maybe she cares. It sounds a little weird at the beginning, but it gets better. So
good morning. Welcome.
It does get better.
Welcome.
It gets better.
Please sit down. Please sit down.
I'm happy we're here. Yes.
You've heard before.
Does get better.
Keeping New Yorkers safe is my top priority. Safe.
Now, again, she says this all the time. You might say, Larry, that sounds amazing, right? That's important that she keeps us safe. It is not. And you might go, Larry, it's nuts. Wait a minute. Don't you want our executive to keep us safe? No. And 3 reasons why. Reason number 1, it is just an excuse. That's all it is. It's an excuse to do things to take away our freedoms. That's what this is about. It's never about actually keeping us safe because we're not safer because of our executives. That's not how that works. So they keep making rules. They get more laws, and we don't get any safer because of those laws. That's not how that works. So they just keep making more laws because we're never safe enough. There's never 0 deaths. If they could legislate 0 deaths, okay, maybe, fine, if you could do that, but you can't. So it never happens. Number 2, they're bad at it. They're bad at it. They're not doing it right. So it still fails. And number three is it's not her job. She made it up. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to keep every New Yorker safe. Nowhere in her oath does it say you have to keep everybody safe. That's not what it's about. Her job is to enforce the laws. Her job is to defend our rights. That's the one that she does not do. She's bad at that too. So she says this and people go, oh, thank you for keeping us safe. And she doesn't.
From harm, safe from crime, safe from injury.
Her job, she just said, safe from harm, safe from crime, safe from injury. Where does it say in any executive's job description or oath they take that they have to be our mom? And we go, yay! Do you understand what power you are giving this executive if you agree to this? You are giving this executive overwhelming power if you say, yes, your job is to keep me safe from harm, keep me safe from injury, keep me safe from anything. Oh my God.
And that ironclad commitment also extends to traffic safety.
Uh-oh.
Protecting people on the roadways.
Okay.
And busy intersections.
Okay.
So today we're slamming the brakes on dangerous drivers and preventable crashes.
We are going to stop. We're going to stop crashes now. Where did I heard that before? Oh, right. I heard that before. I heard that Bill de Blasio, he had his Project Zero. I forgot what it was called. I think it's called Project Zero or something Zero. I'm sorry, not Project, Vision. Sorry. Vision Zero is what he had. De Blasio in New York State. He was going to make sure there were no pedestrian deaths in New York City. He's one who started all those cameras and all that stuff. He wanted to make all that stuff happen. He was all about adding more cameras, adding more cameras, adding more cameras. He didn't add the cameras, but he was all about adding cameras. He wanted to add all kind of stuff. He lowered the speed limit, all those things. And did pedestrian deaths go down? No.
In a few moments, I'll sign 11 bills.
11 bills.
New Yorkers on the road, including the largest ever expansion of New York City's red light camera program.
The largest expansion of red light camera. Now you must be saying to yourself, wait a minute. If we are going to have a massive expansion of red light cameras, I mean, people must be dying left and right of these things. Well, we'll see. Stop. Yeah. They're all like, we're getting checks.
These laws will make the streets safer for everyone, our drivers, our pedestrians, our cyclists.
See? These laws will make everybody safer. She said so.
And I want to thank my partners in the legislature.
Hold on. Joel goes, they want people to run lights and pay the fines. See, Joel, why did you have to tell the end of the story? You had to tell the end of the story, didn't you? You're like, okay, I'm going to ruin it all and I'm going to do it. Yeah. Yes, of course.
And all the advocates.
But there's worse.
Our transit advocates, our street safety advocates. I thank all of you for bringing your voices to our state capitol, and you were heard.
Okay, now, traffic advocates went to the state capitol, and you were heard. What does that mean? That means lobbyists. That's what it actually means. Lobbyists who have companies that install cameras, and of course, lobbyists that also have customers who, yes, buy debt of all the people that Joe talked about who will have massive debt because of this. Yes. So debt collectors and camera enforcers and tech people. Yes, yes, and yes. So I don't want to have any higher taxes because I've been taxing you to just into oblivion. So this is how I'll beat you up anyway. I won't use taxes. I'll use fines and fees. Yes.
And to all those elected officials, I know many were acknowledged already, but we have a number of our sponsors here. I want to acknowledge the sponsors of the bills here. Member, we have Rosick, we have Senator Lieu, we have Senator Guinardis, and Senator Dinowitz, who are all sponsors, and Senator Bailey
been known.
As well.
That's one of those my state senators.
Many who've joined us who are co-sponsors of these bills. But it's important to give them
Ganjan
the
says
credit
lobbyists
they
look to make money.
For this
yes,
effort,
but she didn't call them. She called them advocates.
Would be not a complicated one. Should be fairly easy.
I mean, to be forward, how can I be mad at lobbyists for lobbying? Like, that's a system they made. That's what they want. So yes, but that isn't my problem, Ganjan. My problem is she called them activists and advocates. She should have said, we got lobby like there's no tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, you guys win. Okay, at least it's honest. At least it's honest. Say it.
But we're finding nothing ever is. And this was truly worthy of the effort. And I want to thank everyone again who was involved. And also we'll be hearing from Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, who will be giving the perspective of one of our localities outside the city that will be benefiting from these changes as well.
They're all going to benefit.
Now, you've also heard me say this before.
Tell me.
I'm a mom.
You are?
And I know innately that stress when your child walks to kindergarten.
Yep.
Mine did. Mm-hmm. They go out the door. They're all of a sudden out of your care zone here where you have that protective shield around them from the moment they first open their eyes. And there's a lot of stress that comes from sending your kids out to school every morning. You're also thinking about, do they have everything they need? They forget their lunch. They have their book.
It's true. I got it. We got kids. I'm with you. Yes, yes, and yes.
They do their homework. They have a warm enough coat. Those are the standard concerns of every parent, but no parent should have that gnawing pit in their stomach.
Yeah.
When they wave goodbye each morning because they're worried about crossing a street or getting on a school bus.
Okay.
And lawmakers, my partners here, and advocates have fought for more red light cameras for one simple reason. Real simple reason.
It's for kids.
They work.
It's the kids. That's what it is. See? It's not the money, Joel. See? See how bad you are? You thought it was about the money. No, it wasn't. It's for the children. Joel, why do you hate children? What have they done to you? It's for the children. She just said so. I mean, we must have millions of kids dying every year, getting crushed by people running red lights.
They actually make a difference. 3 decades of data.
She said that. 3 decades of data.
3 decades. Back in 1994 showed that they reduced crashes and they changed driver behavior, which is what we're looking for.
Yeah, except that's not true. Right? Except that happened up until around 2019 or so. Around the 2015 in that area, 14, everything leveled out. So there was an issue drop and then leveled out. Nothing's changed. In fact, if anything, it's getting worse. So what happened? They decided to put a bunch of cameras in school zones, 750. I'm actually not against it. The school zone, fine. If you're in a school zone, slow down, get hammered, there's kids around, no worries. Do that, 100%. Do that. I don't care. Fine, I'm not going to fight that. Whatever. It's literally school zones. It's fine. But if you actually, they found an answer. If you actually want to slow down people, speed bumps works insanely well. Yes, and it winds up being a fine anyway for people who want to zip by that speed belt. I mean, that's a speed bump. Why? You zip past the speed bump, you just trashed your car. So you got to pay to fix your car. Your suspension's trashed. Yeah, so you pay the fine anyway. But you know who doesn't get that fine? She doesn't. That's the problem. You want to rush by and speed over a speed bump. You can. You're going to trash your undercarriage. You're going to trash your suspension. And some local mechanic is going to get that finer fee, which I'm kind of okay with. I mean, it's fine. Keeps the economy going. Don't speed when there's little kids around. I get it. No worries. But that's not what they're doing. They're doing speed cameras. Why? Collect the money. Joel, you might have been right anyway. But yes, and we know this. Speed bumps work. We know this. It absolutely does work. But they want cameras instead.
Since New York City announced this groundbreaking nation-leading program in 1994.
By the way, this costs about $100 million a year. Yes, it costs the city $100 million a year. The city bills over $200 million a year. It bills a bunch, but a lot of it doesn't get paid or they fight or whatever. People can't afford it, whatever. So instead they put people in jail. That happens all the time. Take their licenses, all kind of stuff. The city makes about $20 million a year off this. Yes. But they grift, meaning other vendors are paid about $100 million a year. Yeah.
Red light running.
They says, I mean, you can't put speed bumps every. Of course not. But you can't put them along things like school zones, right? Where the schools are. Why not? Why not? Of course you can. You can do that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Of course you can. If they didn't, they put 750 cameras instead. You could have just done that instead. So yeah. I do think you can do it in those areas. They chose not to.
Intersection with the cameras has dropped 73%.
Yes.
I don't know what more you need than that data point.
I do want to know. I'll tell you the data point. I want to know a data point in the last 5 years. That's what I want. How about the last 5 years? 5 years, it's gone up, not down. 30 years, it's gone down. Accurate. Last 5 years, gone up. Since 2019, we are worse. And I only go to 2019 because that's before the lockdowns, her lockdowns, right? Before that, that's the difference.
T-bone crashes at intersections with cameras dropped 65%.
In 30 years.
When there's
now, I'll ask you, there's about, I think, 8 states, if I'm not mistaken. I know a couple of New Hampshire and Maine near me, where they're against the law. You cannot put up those cameras. And has the same thing happened? Has it gone down? Yes, it's gone down, period.
The camera, drivers know about it. They're less likely to try to get through a red light. And that means they're less likely to hurt or kill someone in a vehicle or on the street.
I thought it was the kids.
On the other hand,
uh-oh,
we know that the intersections that do not have red light cameras are very simply more dangerous.
Way dangerous.
And last year in New York City alone, red light runners killed 29 of our friends.
Whoa. 29? I thought it was millions. Literally, more people die of drowning in New York City. I'm sorry, in New York. I'm sorry. Maybe in New York City too. Literally, more, I'm not even joking. More people die of drowning than that. I'm not saying these 29 people who died is not, I'm not saying that. I'm saying your priorities in New York State, where you will literally sign 11 laws, 29 people. She didn't say 29 kids, 29 people. More kids die of drowning in New York State than that. Almost 2,000 people commit suicide in New York State every year. Yeah. Think about that. 29. Huh. That's worth 11 laws. 29 people. Again, if you're one of the 29, I get it. It's terrible for you. If your family is one of the 29 families that was affected by this, I get it. But those weren't even kids. She said school buses and kids. This isn't school buses and kids. This is something different. She made up the kid thing. So think about kids and now assume that everyone who runs a red light is killing kids. Not accurate at all. We don't know. They won't tell you how many kids are being killed. It's probably zero because I looked for data. I couldn't find any. There's none. So it's probably no kids. Probably none. So it's adults being killed. And a bunch of these, and this is a fact, a bunch of these adults, I'm not joking, are actually drunk. That's true. They're coming off of clubs and walking in the middle of the street. Also true. So yes, both of those things are true. A lot of those drivers are also drunk. Those running the red lights. She didn't say that either. So we have a substance abuse problem, correct, which won't be stopped by cameras because if you're under the influence and you're blowing by red lights, you won't care about the camera. If you're under the influence and you're stumbling across the street, you're not going to care about a camera. Now, how that works, she won't bring that up at all. So whatever 29, generally speaking, about 1/3, that's a good general rule. There's no data on this. The drivers are drunk. Well, that's not going to stop because of a red light camera at all. The numbers haven't even changed. And if you have certain areas that are so bad, and there are certain areas, then you can put speed bumps in those areas if you think it's appropriate. And then drunk people will have their car trashed, and that'll teach them a lesson. Or the car will be trashed, either one. Right? You can do that if you want to. It's up to you. Right? Pick up a good point. In small communities near me, a lot of red light cameras are dummy cameras. Yes. Yes. They do it in stores all the time too. They put the fake cameras up. There's no camera there. Or mirrors, like at least someone's behind the mirror, but no one's behind it. That also could work. But again, Pickerbell, this isn't about safety. New York City has 8 million people in it. 29 being hit, and probably at least a third of them, if not half of them, from drunk drivers. So say half of those are actually stoppable. So 15 people. More people die in our subways. I'm not making that number. More people die in our subways in New York City than this. Again, if you're one of the 15 or 29 people, your family's devastated. It doesn't matter how that your person's killed. But if you're governor of New York, why is that your priority? Pete, nicely done. No speed bumps, I'll spill my drink. Point taken. Point taken. Point is definitely taken. But yes, this should not be your number one priority worth 11 laws. That's my issue. There are so many problems in my state. People are leaving left and right. Pete goes on to say, and there's also 600,000 plus people left who've left New York since 2020. Yes, is more. But yeah, why is that the issue?
Neighbors, family members. All 29 incidences occurred at intersections without red light cameras. So behind every statistic is a life.
Of course, very true.
Now there's an empty seat at a dinner table, an unfilled seat from a classmate in school.
See, Joel, why do you hate kids?
School.
That's on you, Joel. You hate kids.
Mom who never sees the joy of seeing their kids graduate, and sometimes losing.
But where's the kids?
Will not be there for her next birthday. What's so heartbreaking about all of these is they're all preventable.
They are.
That's what we've established.
We've established this. If we just put more cameras, no one will die ever. Yes.
And red light cameras are one of the best tools for prevention. So,
okay,
today,
tell me what you're going to do.
We're giving New York City the green light to quadruple the number of red light cameras docked at intersections around the
quadruple.
City. We're letting them do it. It's been the largest. Thank you.
What that means is they're going to put 450 new cameras in New York City. Now, you might go, Larry, wait a minute, 450? Yeah, 450 new cameras in New York City. But wait a minute, Larry, this seems odd. Didn't they just put a bunch of cameras in New York City? Didn't they just do it because they were going to do congestion pricing? Well, yes, you're right. That's correct. And you might say, well, wait a minute. So They're going to put another 450. Yes, they are. The 150 plus those, another 100. There's another 100 for that 250 plus 450. Yes. Plus the already 750 for school zones. Yes. That's how many cameras are going to be in New York City now. We need 450 more. We already got 250 plus 7 is 1,000. Now now 450, 1,450 cameras, almost 1,500 cameras in New York City. Where we are actively, happily, yay, love it. And Peace Logic, you stole my thunder also. It's the contracts that make money, 100%. At the point they figured out the best timing between yellow and red, maximize fines. Also true. They've changed the timing from the yellow lights to make sure they have maximum fines, right? And the timing causes more accident braking. But here's the issue. This is how they scam this Peace Logic. They don't tell you that while they say, well, T-boning has decreased. That's accurate. But rear ends have increased. They don't tell you that. She won't tell you that. Rear end accidents have increased. T-boning has decreased. That's true. Rear ends have increased. You're correct. That's the reality. And the contractors love it. They go, wait a minute, is it really that much money? All right. When it comes to the cameras that we put in for congestion pricing, which we in theory don't use, that was over $500 million. That was 550 some odd or something like that, 500 some odd $1 million. That's how much it costs for us to not use them. Now, here's the funny part. We still have to use them because in the contract, we agreed for them to be monitored. So we're still paying the contractors to monitor no congestion pricing. I wish I was joking. Again, I'm not. So what I do, they're going to make those all speed cameras. That was the entire plan. And I told you, you're like, how can, she's got to be somewhat congested. No, the plan was to make sure her contractors, her donors got a bunch of contracts from the city, $500 million worth. Now that was just 150 cameras, 100 cameras. Sorry, that was 100 cameras. This is 400 more. How much is that? $2 billion. She won't say, I looked for it. You can't find the dollars. If anyone can find how much these 11 bills are, that I don't know what the number is. I looked for it real fast that I couldn't find it. So I don't know how much it is. I'm guessing $2 billion. That's my guess. Because the other one was 500. I'm guessing $2 billion. That's my guess. So of course, those activists or advocates went to Albany. At $2 billion, I'd be in Albany too. So would you. Peace, me and you be holding hands, skipping over there, getting $2 billion. Of course we would. It's about the cash. So now you got a $2 billion deal. Maybe it's a little less, but in that area, if it was $500 million, 400, I'm just saying for these $2 billion. I mean, maybe it's only $1.5 billion, whatever. Plus now ongoing maintenance. What happens when those bad kids break one? Somebody got to fix it. Weekly, monthly maintenance. Someone's got to watch it. Someone's got to make sure we know all the people that we're putting in jail. Someone will take care of all that. It's billions, tons and tons of money. And I want to be clear, $2 billion and ongoing at least 100 million, if not more every year, at least for 29 people, at least 1/3 of them are drunk, which means you can't stop it, right? Cameras aren't going to stop someone who's a drunk driver or drunk pedestrian or the combination. Because most of these are in the middle of the night. That's true. For those who don't know, most of them in the middle of the night. Correct. So that's how that works. So that's your number one issue. Imagine taking that $2 billion and helping some people have housing or helping some people have healthcare or giving some small business owner a break, whatever. Think about that. Lowering insurance costs. I may name the thing. More than 28 people, at least 1/3 who are drunk. That's what we're doing. And clapping. Lunatic, thank you so much for the $10 in super chat. Sensationalism at its finest. More restrictions, more security. Car, boat, trip, fall. She should have. And I'm not saying she should. When do we get to permanently relieve them of duty for up district? I'm not saying that. Don't get me in trouble, lunatic. I think she should be removed legally. That's all I'm saying. You hear me, Stan? My agent, who I know is always listening. Lunatic is just kidding. Lunatic. He's just kidding. He means accident and legal stuff. Nothing illegal. Anyway, it's going to get me in trouble. But I get your point, and I see why you can't stand it, and I can't stand it either. It's why I can look at anything she does and explain how bad it is. It's bad. This is nothing but bad. There's no good about this at all. That's the issue. So, and by the way, when it comes to like traffic red light deaths, we're like number 9 out of 50. We're not that bad. California's worse. California's worse, and they have cameras. So cameras are legal in California. So they have cameras like we do, and they're actually worse. The cameras aren't magic. These aren't. And remember, most of these deaths are people who are intoxicated. Cameras don't stop that, but cameras do raise cash. And by the way, the profit that New York was making on here's the thing about no, has been going down. At one point, the high point, the profit that New York City was making off this was $40 million. Profits down. Profits down to $20 million. Yes, profit from it has gone down. And they say, well, people aren't, they say this, people aren't getting multiple fines. So their rules, it's working. Oh, so punish more. So it's working, so punish more. No, it's about the cash. That's the point. And it always has been the point.
Largest expansion. What do I mean by the largest expansion? Going from 150 to 600. That is transformational. Think about it. That's 450 more intersections for drivers.
Yes, you will be able to see everything we do. We will be in a total surveillance police state. I can't wait. Yes, absolutely. Joseph says pedestrians get hit because they walk right in front of cars, and many don't use crosswalks and cross wherever. Albany's no this. Also true. Yes, also true. Yes.
Are less likely to run a red light, less likely to hit a pedestrian, run into another car. Safer commutes for our kids. Now, in the decades since this effort was launched, again, right here in New York City, localities around
kids aren't being killed by this.
And other parts of our state have followed the lead, but they also need approvals from the state. Now, I will digress. As a former local official, I never knew why we had to ask the state.
Wow. So all of a sudden she's libertarian. Okay, I like that. Why do we have to ask state for permission? So all of a sudden you're libertarian until you're the governor. Okay, I like that.
For something as simple as a red light camera. I was on our traffic safety board. I had a lot of requests from people, and I was always petitioning at the time.
And that's the key piece that I want you all New Yorkers to recognize. She has been in New York State government for decades. Decades with an S. Decades. She's been in New York government. She's been local government. She's been a congressperson. She's been lieutenant governor. She's been governor. She's been in New York State politics for decades. And the state has been decaying for decades. She is part of the reason why this state is collapsing. Yes.
It's the Pataki administration. And if I didn't get the answers I wanted, I rolled up to Albany with lots of petitions.
Before Pataki. Pataki left us 22 years ago. And she was before Pataki.
Not wanting to give anybody any new ideas. But that was me out there championing for traffic signals, widening of the roads, putting in, not widening the road, but putting in medians in the middle of roads where we've had head-on collisions that killed 3 teenagers my first few weeks on the job. So I have been a traffic safety champion, understanding the power of the placement of a signal.
What about when you were lieutenant governor? I don't remember that at all.
As well as red light cameras. And so today we're also signing bills.
More bills.
To help some of our mayors. New Rochelle.
To help mayors. Okay. I needed to make sure that people wouldn't go nuts about this bill. So what I had to do was bribe a bunch of mayors to make sure they would be on with me on this one. So we're writing checks for all these people. It's always writing checks.
Mount Vernon, Albany, red light cameras there as well. And in Westchester County, we're giving the town of Greenburgh the okay to have red light cameras at 2 busy intersections as well, and green lighting a new school zone program in Kingston. So all these are, and someday we'll get to a time when the state legislature focuses on other issues beyond this, because I love the fact that localities have the power to make these decisions, or they should.
All of a sudden now she's libertarian. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I've been talking about localization since 2018. All of a sudden she's on my side. Okay.
Have those decisions. But this is consistent with our governing philosophy.
Oh, that localization.
We will empower them to make these decisions. they can make that decision. I encourage everyone from the advocates to the parents and other affected.
Never been true. She's made that up. Never been true. She's made that up. She has always wanted to centralize power. So has Cuomo. That has never been true ever. That she just made this up. Luna, thank you for the $2, my friend. I'm sick of all this BS. Yes, I am with you. That's a blatant lie. That's never been true ever. She just made that up. She does not like localization. She does not like direct democracy. She likes none of those things. She wants to be in control because she wants to get the jobs out, and that's what she's doing. She is giving out the jobs. That's what that's what she gets her power. That's what she likes. That's the issue. The AC says, I do believe 28 people is the number that perished in a refugee tent somewhere or some reason. This money probably costs about $1 million. Yes. 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 How about we take care of our migrants with that $2 billion? Whatever. Whatever's your thing. I just threw stuff out there. There's so many other things you should be talking about than this. This is not a thing. This is not a thing. She's just making this up. Mike Voss is in the house. Mike says, London, UK has the most CCTVs globally at this moment. Yep, that's correct. Did cameras stop red light test there? Nope. No other crime? Nope. I remember they actually banned guns horribly. They were considering registering knives. They were considering common sense knife registration because people were still getting knifed to death under the cameras. And literally, there's a picture of it next to a, anti-knife poster. A guy got knifed to death. Yeah, there are cultural issues we must work on. That's the number one issue. You're completely correct. Just making new laws, all making new laws does, if you don't change the culture, is it just virtue signals and then creates more laws that more people fall into, right? And now here's the worst part. Now some guy from upstate New York is going to decide he's going to be good. He's going to take his family into New York City to go see a game or go see a show or do something cool or do some history or whatever. He's going to drive by. He's going to get a massive ticket. It's going to get mailed to him. He's going to head on back. He just spent his money taking his family to the city. He's going to go back to wherever he's from. Maybe he's from Utica or wherever he's from, someplace, maybe central New York, someplace from there, maybe from Syracuse. He drives back up there. Now he's got $100 and some odd ticket. He's like, I can't afford this ticket. What am I going to do? So he waits for 30 days. Now it's 150 or 200, etc. Before you know it, he forgets about it. He worries about it. Maybe he loses his license. His world begins to end over one ticket. Happens all the time. Because now tourism come in. When tourists come in and they drive, they get hammered. So don't drive. Well, I can do the subway. Why? Because it's dangerous. Because I'm scared of it. So what I'm going to do? This is not the right answer. And tourism has been going up in New York recently because people don't want to live here anymore. So they leave, but they miss it and they come back to visit. I get it. There are some great things in New York City. There's great reasons to visit. You don't need to live here. I live here. You don't need to live here. But visiting is amazing. It absolutely is. I got to tell you, it is. If you come to New York, it is great to visit New York City. It's wonderful. So they come back to visit. And then this happens. And they go, I'm never coming back again now. Why would I? They already charged me for parking. They already charged me to come in. Now it's terrible. And now they gave me another $100.
Individuals to stay engaged and work with them to get this through. So you don't need us to tell you where your challenges are. But next year, I'm happy to sign even more. If you want to come back to us and get more permission, I've got a lot.
Did you hear that? I'm happy to sign even more bills. I'm trying to, oh my God. I'm happy to sign even more bills. Yes. Yes. Anyway. All righty. Peace Lodge looking for the $2. We need to regulate steak knives. I've been saying that forever, but don't get crazy on this piece. It is common sense steak knife regulation, okay? That makes it okay. If you put common sense in front of it, then it's fine. That's all it takes. I'm going to regulate everyone's bedroom activity. Common sense bedroom activity regulation. See? Now it's fine. Just put common sense in front and you'll be fine. That's how that works. Guys, by the way, if you do want to help the channel, click the button known as like. Please do so. Also, if you follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, please reshare this, retweet this, whatever the case may be. If you're on YouTube, you can always subscribe. It does matter. Follow me if you're on Facebook. Follow me if you are on Twitter. Just please follow them. You can super chat me as you've seen. If you're on Larry Sharpe or Sharpe Way, super chat's now on both, whichever one you prefer. If you want to become a member, you can always do that. You click that join button. It's $4.99 per month. I try to grab my members first if I possibly can to keep them up and running. It keeps me up and running if you can. So click that join button on either of those two channels. You can join and makes everything a whole lot better. Let me keep going. There's a bit more.
A lot of pens. I've got plenty of time and happy to do this because I understand the power of this pen. The power of this pen.
Oh, me too.
The change that so many
I know too.
Far too long for. And this is the same principle behind Sammy's Law, which I signed last spring. We had an enormous rally. There was so much energy and excitement around this. And it gave New York.
Because there was lots of money going on. I was writing checks left and right. Someone said we were all getting paid. It was amazing. New York
City, the power to reduce speed limits from 25 to 20 in residential areas and go even slower in certain zones. Now, one individual, again, the power of one, Amy Cohen, was the driving force behind this. Her son, Sammy, was killed by a speeding driver. And she put all that grief and energy into a bill named after him. And she fought for over a decade.
My view is I get it. No, I get it. I get how that works. Mike says, follow the money. New York State buys cameras and repair contracts. Yep. Unions install and maintain. Brother, thank you. I didn't even hit the union level. I should hit that point. Yep. Just keeps union people happy. You need more people to police someone to review data. Yes. The police budget currently is already 6 figures. So that just the budget for the police is over 6 figures. And Department of Transportation over 6 figures. So yes, this is people that have to now maintain, watch, review, all process. You're totally correct. This is all just a jobs program, a massive jobs program. That's what this is. It's not about safety. It's a jobs program. You are absolutely correct. Yes.
These fights should not have to go on so long. We need to be there for citizens who've suffered pain, who harness that pain and turn it.
Look, I'm not mad at the woman who lost her kid who wanted to change the law. I'm not mad at her for that. She lost her kid. I don't know what I'd do if I lost my kid. So I'm not mad at her for that. But it doesn't mean she's correct. Right? The fact that she is a victim, and she is a victim. I mean, some guy kills your kid in a car accident, you're a victim. 100%. She's a victim, 100%. It doesn't mean the world should change because of that. Right? My dad died of cancer. I was a kid when he died of cancer. They said it could have been because of smoking. They didn't know at the time. This is many years ago. It could have been because of smoking. So should I now ban all smoking? Because my dad died of cancer? Was I a victim? Yes. Any kid, your dad dies when you're 11, that's not the kid's fault. I didn't do anything wrong. That was, and her kid got hit by a car. She didn't do anything wrong. You're a victim. I get it. Doesn't mean the world has to change. It doesn't mean the world has to change.
The positive energy for others, and let's just make that road a little easier and smoother. So people like that never gave up. These are the people I listen to. Come see me.
No, you don't. Stop. Stop lying. The people you listen to are the people who can make sure you stay in power. We know this. Please don't play that game. Stop.
Talk to me, as well as so many other advocates whose voices are so important to all of us. So we're not wasting any more time. That's my point. We're not wasting any more time. We're getting these signs. We're giving the city the power they need. We're giving our localities the power they need and making sure we do what's right. So we also have another challenge with school buses, right?
Oh, school bus challenge.
You ever see someone pass a school bus? The
I
school
have.
bus is stopped.
Yep.
Children are getting on or off.
Yep.
Lights are flashing. I mean, all the
Yep.
warning signs are there. You know what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
But somehow you think that your life is more important. You have to get to work. Maybe you should have gotten up a little bit earlier. You're putting other people's lives in danger, right? You're putting other people's lives in danger.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we empower the cities to do what they need to do. So I'm going to.
So let me ask you a question then. If this is a horrible thing, obviously all these thousands of millions of people who are rushing by all of these school buses that are stopped are just killing kids left and right, right? The number of kids who died from that this year in New York State, 0. Last year, 0. None. It's not a thing. 0. Not 1. 0. 0. So this one has nothing. As you've heard me say all the time, what she does very well is she solves problems that aren't problems. Or 2, she makes something that's illegal, illegaler. She'll do this right now. it's already illegal to pass the school bus if the lights are flashing. 0 kids died. And I don't know, I didn't go back any further, but last 2 years, 0 died. None died because of this. So it's not a problem. So she will make something that's illegal, illegaler. That'll teach you.
Sign a bill, which also says, I'm going backwards in my remarks here, that we're going to talk about the school buses and increase the fines. Right now, it's $1,000.
It's $1,000. If you are in a world where you have to rush to get to work, if that's the kind of job you have, that you may lose that job if you're late and you pay $1,000 fine, you can't pay your rent that month. You're not paying your rent that month. You're taking the payday loan out. I'm not joking about this. You know that's true. You're taking the payday loan. You can't pay your rent that month. So what's she going to do?
A lot of money.
Yeah.
$1,000.
That's a lot of money. And it's not a problem at all. So it's not a problem, and it's $1,000.
A lot of money for a fine.
Yeah.
But apparently it's not working.
Why? Where are all the dead kids? Apparently it actually is working. Like $1,000 is working because 0 kids died. So it is working.
Because people are still violating the law.
Right.
Putting our kids' lives in jeopardy.
See, she won't say how many are dead because none. She goes, but people are still violating the law. I get it. 0 kids dead in at least 2 years, and she has to pass a law.
So let's try raising the fine. Let's raise that fine to $1,500 and see if that has an impact. And let's get that message out there.
That'll change it. Let's get that message out there. Let's get that message out there. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's get that message out there that people didn't know they can't do this, and all those dead kids. Oh wait, no dead kids. Yeah. Yeah. Picklebell, thank you for being a member. Some dude moving around a stop school bus killed 2 kids in my school when I was young. So some guy was having a medical emergency. It wasn't intentionally doing it, and would have wrecked no matter where he was. Oh, so he was like having a heart attack or something. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is insanely rare that people don't care about kids on a school bus. Some do. But if you actually are some guy or gal who goes, I don't care about stupid kids just destroying, I don't know, killing kids. Well, if you're that guy, the fine doesn't matter to you. If you're actually like, I can't wait to kill kids. If that's who you are, why do you care about a fine? $1,000 is devastating. In fact, you might as well make it $1 million. Make it 10 billion. Who cares? It's insane. It's insane. And again, if this guy, if he was having like if he was having maybe a stroke, or he was having a heart attack or something, he was going to crash. It happened to be kids there. Look, again, if your 2 kids are killed, horrible. But that's not stopped by a $1,500 fine. If I'm having a heart attack, I'm having a heart attack. I mean, I'm probably going to die, so I'm not going to care about $1,500. I'm just not. But no, Joel says it right. $1,000 is one thing, but I'll think twice before running over a kid. $1,500 is true. Yeah. I was like, can I swing you $1,500? All right, I run over a kid. That's what I was thinking too. I was like thinking, is that worth it? Yeah, of course. It's insanely dumb. This is another law that makes something illegal, illegaler. And that's how New York State runs. That's how we have, think about this. We just now put in another 11 laws that have no real value, have solved no problem, but now make it harder to be a New Yorker. We just made it harder to be a New Yorker to solve no problem. Nothing.
Let's get that message out there. So if you're going to selfishly endanger the lives of someone else's kids.
Endanger, but again, no one died. Jason says, Larry, please keep that crap in New York City. Don't let it leak out of the city. Why do you think I keep running? Why do you think I keep bugging you guys when I run? And say, if you're not in New York, still support me. Because if I don't stop it here, nobody else will. Nobody else will. Democrats win everything. Everything. They're making stuff up now, right? She has to do something. This is just to say, I did stuff. You're already destroying New York State. She's already destroying it. We are losing 200,000-300,000 people every single year. They can't wait to get out of the state. As fast as they can get out, they're getting out. Only people coming back are the migrants. Everybody else is leaving. And even the migrants are leaving now. Have you heard that? Even migrants are like, I'm out. This place sucks even for me. Even the migrants are like, I'm out. Everyone's leaving. People are like, well, Larry, Trump might actually, he might actually win New York State because people are so unhappy. The people who would be voting for Trump in New York State are already gone. They're leaving in droves. Leaving in droves. New York State already lost one congressman. That's how much population we lost, right? Remember, each congressman is about 750,000 people. We would have lost one. We would have lost two, but we changed how you count at the last minute, and so now we counted all undocumented. That's why we only lost one. If we wouldn't have counted them, if we would not counted undocumented, we would have actually lost two. Yeah, that's how bad this state is. So yes,
you will pay the price. And again, I want to just conclude by saying today is not a one-off. It's part of a larger vision for an overall safer New York.
Because the biggest problem we're having in New York is safety on the streets. That's the biggest issue. No. If you ask people, you say, wait a minute, Larry, you're just saying that because you're some privileged guy who lives in New York City. Okay. Maybe I'm some privileged guy who lives in New York City. Great. Look at the data. What do New Yorkers talk about consistently across the entire state as their top issues? Almost always number one is somehow the economy in some way. Something's too expensive. Cost of living, whether that's housing or childcare or healthcare, something. It's almost always cost of living. Now, that's number one across the state, whether you live in Buffalo, whether you live in Watertown, whether you live in New York City or out in Long Island, doesn't matter. Binghamton, doesn't matter where you live. That's the number one issue, is usually that. Then there's crime is in there too, energy's in there, right? Those are up in there, but energy is also cost of living. The cost of living is critical. Crime is in there too, but heavily is going to be somehow cost of living, right? Quality of life. These are the issues. How did these 11 laws affect the cost of living for any New Yorker? 11 of them. Doesn't. Safety is not number one, with the exception of sometimes crime. That's the only safety issue New Yorkers use consistently. New Yorkers aren't going, I would stay in New York, but all those kids get killed by drunk drivers or what. That's not a thing. Nobody says that. Nobody's like, I'd stay in New York, except the only problem is I wish the speeders, that's the speed. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Crime, yes. That's a safety issue. How does this help out crime? How does it stop crime? Now no one's going to get hit over the head? What? This is another money grab, solving a problem that's not a problem. And she does something just so you can add more laws to the books. And people are idiotically clapping.
By quadrupling the number of red light cameras in New York City and empowering other localities, raising the penalties for school buses, we're building on other major traffic safety initiatives working.
She's not done. There's going to be like another 10, 12, there's going to be another 10, 12 laws coming up here. She'll sign all those too. That will solve nothing and make nobody happier.
With our local mayors, the mayor of the city of New York, his team, and focusing on the stricter rules regarding e-bikes.
Oh, no. We're going to fix e-bikes now because that's the other problem.
Cracking down on illegal ghost cars, vehicles, those who are violating our laws. And again, giving people ghost the power cars they need to protect their communities.
That's the problem that I'm having, right? When I'm in New York City, the thing that bothers me a lot is when I'm walking around and I can't find a family business anymore. And I see all of the local places that are shut down and now being filled by either franchises or nothing or illegal migrant areas that I'm seeing in my neighborhood. The first thing I think of is goddamn ghost cars. Ghost cars. Bugging me. Ghost cars. Ghost cars. That's what's bugging me. When I see people who I can tell are having some kind of psychotic episode on the street, where I'm worried that in the subway when I get on, that my youngest daughter's afraid to get on that subway. When that's happening, or when I see prices going so high that I can't even imagine how much money I'm spending, when that happens, the first thing I think about is that guy, did I just see a guy drive past a school bus or something? That bugs me. Oh my God. That ain't ghost cars. Ugh, drives me crazy. It's like, what the hell is a ghost car? A ghost car. It's so funny. They are cars, as IC says, that have fake license plates because they don't want to pay the fines from the cameras. Note how the camera and the ghost cars go together to make cash. That's the cash. Yes. And then my liberties, I just posted about a guy up here in NNY, Northern New York, that got tickets from New York City camera due to a New York City resident that altered their plate. Another guy got tickets for a constant plate cam misread. Yes. Yes. Yeah. What did you expect when you went to this? What did you expect? So you know what gets me mad? Freaking ghost cars. Thank you, Governor, for cracking down on ghost cars. Greg's like, what the hell is a ghost car? It's stuff she makes up like ghost guns. She made up ghost guns that she made ghost cars. Ghost guns are guns that they don't have a serial number. They're called ghost guns. We gotta stop those because that's the critical issue. Because the people who are buying these ghost guns are buying, wait a minute, illegal guns. So they're illegal. Again, you're making something illegal illegaler. Ghost guns are guns that are already illegal. Now they're illegaler because she calls them ghost guns. That, by the way, is that law. She put 10 gun laws in place. Okay, got to go back a couple years. Remember when the Supreme Court said, hey, your gun laws in New York State are unconstitutional. They're terrible and unconstitutional. She went, oh, damn, Supreme Court said my law's no good. Here's 11 more. I'm sorry, here's 10 more. Oh, I'm not joking. Here's 10 more laws. She put them in to include ghost guns. She ignored the Supreme Court, put in 10 more gun laws. I don't care. I'm just doing what I want because I'm New York, and in New York State, basically the Bill of Rights does not exist. I wish I was joking because in the case of Dexter Taylor, who, by the way, did nothing illegal at all, they broke into his home. If you care about it, you can check out my interview with him. Dexter Taylor, Larry Sharpe, you see the interview there. He comes on. They arrest him. He goes to jail, 10 years. The judge, I'm not joking. The judge literally said, and this is, you can do your own homework. This is documented, said, the Second Amendment does not exist in this courtroom. What she said. This is a judge who was sworn to uphold the Constitution, who openly said the Bill of Rights does not exist in her courtroom, and she received exactly 0 consequences for that. That is New York State. That is my state. That's the level of judge. You want to know why I get so mad at judges in New York State, how bad they are, how embarrassing they are? That is a great example of that. And that happened because she created, out of nowhere, ghost guns. She made that up. The brain damaged chimps in my assembly said, that's a good idea. Now we have a law about ghost guns. And then the ghost guns put Dexter Taylor in jail for 10 years. A man who did nothing illegal, bought everything openly, never sold a gun, never fired a gun, never sold a gun, was trying to figure out if he wanted to be a gunsmith. I'm not joking. He wanted to figure out if he bought everything legally. He bought it through Amazon and stuff, just bought it legally. Didn't matter. Away he went. Away he went. So yes. John says, Larry, at work, we never ask management a question for fear of what their answer will be. I feel the same way about this. I'm sure nobody asked for it. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. IC says, wasn't she the one that usurped the statutory limitations to go up? Yes, New York also decided. New York said, you know what we're going to do? Because we are going to just say that the statute of limitations that we've had in New York State doesn't exist. Didn't exist. And you get to go back if you're a woman and you were abused. You can go back, I don't know, forever. You just do that. Doesn't matter. Just did it. They just did it. And again, the brain dead chimps in my assembly went, that's a good idea. They did that because my assembly is an embarrassment too. They just said, that's fine. There we go. No worries. Mike says, I saw the Dexter yesterday. New York State violated his first, second, fourth, and eighth amendment rights. Sadly, here's the problem, Mike. The judges have already said the Bill of Rights doesn't exist in New York State. See, the first 10 amendments, it's not the Bill of Rights in New York State. It's the Bill of Suggestions. That's how it works in New York State. I wish it was the Bill of Rights. That'd be amazing. In New York State, you can, how do I know that? Ask any judge, and they will tell you, no, not in my courtroom. Yes. He says it was a follow-up to your interview before he was convicted. He's now in prison. CBS blamed it on ghost guns. Yes, thank you. I wasn't making this up. I appreciate that. Yes, 100%. So Lunatic says brain dead chimps. That's what they are. That's what they are. Brain dead chimps. They just go, yeah, whatever. They're brain. And she claps for them all the time. Yeah, it's great. They do nothing but destroy everything. My assembly has been destroying my state for decades and laughing about it. Yes. So, yes. Pinkerbell says, is that not meant to target 3D printing guns? It can be. It's any gun put together without you can buy pieces to a gun legally and then assemble them. And he was trying to assemble them to see if he could become a gunsmith. That was what he was thinking about. He's a tech guy and was thinking of changing into a gunsmith. So he was physically putting guns together, which is legal. You can do that, but not in New York State. Now, it is illegal to have a gun without a serial number and sell it. That's true. That's illegal. He didn't do that. He simply had one. He put it together. That's legal. Yes, it's meant for all those. 100%. Those two. However you put it together. Yes. So I just thought it was interesting. So yeah. Let me see if I can grab some. You got a couple of these popping up here. Okay. Peace Logic says, so which government position is more influential? Mayor, governor, which we run for? Here's the problem. The reality of it is, in America, we only pay attention to executives. We just do. We pay attention to executives. You got to be a mayor, a governor, a president, one of them, which is why I run for either governor or I've also put my hat in the ring for the vice president in the past. So maybe that. Yes. Anyway, let's see. If they're black, racist much, put labels put on you. Not sure where that's coming from. But Dexter is black. Don't know if that mattered, but yes, Dexter's black. I didn't mention it because I didn't care, but yes, you're right, it is black. And she's Democrat. Why are you beating up on black men, Democrat? There we go. Thank you, Lunatic. I got to be racist for a minute. Thanks. So Super Weapons, thank you for the $5. The fact that Dexter Taylor's story isn't the tip of the spear for the freedom movement is insane. It kind of is. There's a lot of libertarians on board with that. Mike's on board. I'm on board. Jeff Charles on board. Maj Touré on board. There's a lot of people talking about it. It is. The LP and pro-BOR movement should be putting dollars behind them. It's challenging because it's New York State, right? And New York State literally says, I said it, I wasn't joking. She said, the Second Amendment does not exist in my courtroom. How do you fight that? When the judges go, it's okay to ignore the Bill of Rights. That's how my state works. Literally, again, if you're making it up, it's there. She literally said that. And everyone went, okay, that's it. So when that's happening, how do you fight that? Who do you, Kathy Hochul, she's the governor. She knows she didn't pardon him. This is her law. They're going to change the law. My assembly was happy to have that law. Threw 10 of them on there. Happy. Where does she go? I get what you're saying, but where do you go? There's no place to go. He says, that's horrific. The Second Amendment is constitutionally protected right. No, it isn't. Not my state. That's not true. The Supreme Court said, literally, again, if you think I'm making this up, this is true. The Supreme Court has said that our laws in New York State are unconstitutional. Her response to the Supreme Court saying we're wrong was 10 more laws. Now, I don't say these things if I don't have receipts. You can look, simple Google search. The Supreme Court said our laws are unconstitutional. She said, take 10 more laws. So you are incorrect, IC. The Second Amendment is not protected in New York State. It is not protected. It isn't. You can talk all you want, say what should be, not true. Just not true. She said it. She said it at the beginning. She says it all the time. Her number one issue is not enforcing the law. No, that's for chumps. Her issue is not protecting our rights. That's for idiots. She's not doing that. Her job is to keep us safe from everything. Her job, we elected her as our mom. So she's our mom now. We're all children, and she'll protect us. You don't like it, you'll get a spanking. That's how that works. That whole idea, that bill of a suggestion thing, that's a bill of suggestions for other states, not mine. And you go, oh, Larry, why are you running for governor? This is the reason. This is the reason. And if you think this isn't coming to your state, you are fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself. The more she gets away with here, the more your governor go, wait a minute, she got away with that? How far can I go? Let me try a little bit. How far can I go? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Absolutely true. Yes. So, Robbers, again, thank you for the $5. Solution: every alt media should be mimicking the MSN. Just repeat the narrative until the pressure builds. JR, PPD, Rubin, even some left media. Yes, the problem is, how do you get them all on board when they're independent? But yes, that would be amazing. Yes, that would be amazing. 100%. So I don't see that happening right now. Let me keep going.
It's a good day. It's a good day. When you think about all the things we do, this may not seem like the most consequential.
It isn't. You actually said the quiet part a lot. It isn't. It just makes you look, I guess, good-ish.
But if one life is saved.
Boo! Boo! She went to if one life is saved. And people just love that. If one life is saved. You know what? Ban all cars. Ban all cars. If one life is saved. Ban them all. Ban every car. You know what? Not just that. Ban all stoves. Ban all stoves. Ban all cars, because one life might be saved. Ban them all. Ban all of them. Yes. Kim, thanks for being a member. I'm so glad I found you, Larry. I was going to be moving to New York upstate off grid. I can't do politics. No. Look. All I'm going to say is I love my city. I do. It's falling apart, but it is beautiful in many ways, disgusting in others. It's a great place to visit, but my state's a disaster, Kim. I wouldn't ask anybody to move here. It's got to be fixed first. I am disappointed when people leave. I am, but I'm not mad at them. Like, I get why you leave. I don't want you to. I want you to stay with me and fight, but I understand. I've thought of leaving so many times. So many times I thought of leaving. I thought of leaving as early as 2016. I was considering heading to Charlotte first. Then I rethought, maybe I could, maybe I can't. Then I thought about going to Chattanooga. Now I'm still thinking about going up to New Hampshire now. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I'm considering leaving too. It is horrible here. It really is. So anyway, yes, I appreciate it though. But yes, IC says sign the Elon Musk petition. Only if you're in a swing state. Swing state's the issue. Swing state's where that matters, because that's where you can get the cash, right? That's where you get the cash. I don't live in a swing state. I live here. I don't get that.
That one life is consequential. I'm telling you right now. And that's what today is all about. So,
well, Philip makes a great point. What if one life is saved by a gun? Mandatory guns, Phil. Everybody gets gun. Mandatory guns. That's it. Mandatory guns. You're right. That's how it works. Mandatory. Because one life. Just one life saved by a gun.
I want to thank Mayor Roach. I see Mayor Tom Roach here has joined us from White Plains as well. All of our elected officials who are part of this journey.
It's a journey.
Our common goal to ensure that people know we put their lives first. We'll always put their lives first, and we'll do whatever we can to protect them and their most cherished possessions, indeed their children. So,
but not the real possessions. Not that you can't defend your property in New York State. So yes, the AC says yes, ban cars and stoves. Use induction instead. But that's not banning, is it? How about instead show people how good it is and then make it to where people do it on their own? How about that? That would work, because if you don't do that, then one life might be saved. We can't do that.
With that, I'd like to welcome up Jeffrey Dinowitz, one of our great champions, one of our sponsors of the legislation. Again, congratulations to all of our other sponsors. And again,
all sponsors.
My appreciation to our leaders, Carl Hasty of the New York State Assembly, and Stewart Cousins, the majority leader of the
Hastings and Stewart Cousins are two of some of the most horrible people on the planet. And they love them, and they get so much money, and they are so corrupt. It's embarrassingly bad. Embarrassingly bad.
Did I say U.S. of the New York State Senate? Maybe someday she'll get to the Senate, U.S. Senate. I don't know, but they're great partners, and I appreciate all their members and their leadership as well. Right, thank you.
Yeah, because they make sure you write checks.
Well, thank you, Governor. And I also want to thank State Senator Gernardis. We partnered on this red light camera bill. And
we partnered on a bill.
We both worked really hard because we understood that lives are literally at stake. And
lives are at stake here. You're sitting here in New York City. Gernardis is like in Queens. I forget where this guy's from. Is he Manhattan? He might be Manhattan. I forgot where he's from. I don't remember where he's from. But anyway, they're both from the city, obviously. They're down here in the city. And they worked hard in this bill. We have a migrant crisis. We have an opioid crisis. We have a broken MTA. And they said, you know what we need to focus on? Let's focus on the 28 people who died because of red light cameras. Again, at least a third of them were drunk, if not more.
Is more basic to our job as elected officials than saving lives and protect.
What is more basic to our jobs as elected officials than saving lives? I have an idea. Protecting rights. That's my idea. Those you don't care about. The Bill of Suggestions proves that. Right? Proves that. You also think you like to be my dad. So basically what happened is we have the people in New York State, New York City, they all think they're our parents and we're children and they act accordingly. And sadly, we keep voting for them.
Protecting people from harm. And we'll never know which lives have been saved by this legislation.
Yeah, because none. We will know. None. How do I know that? Because the amount of kids who were killed because someone ran around a bus were zero. Zero. For at least the last 2 years. I could have gone back, but I didn't. So I just figured zero's enough for 2 years. Zero. So the number of lives you'll save with that bill is zero. How many will you destroy when you give somebody a $1,500 ticket that now they can't pay their rent because of that? How many will you destroy from that? Huh? How many will you know? You'll know. That number you'll know. You will know that number.
But we will know that people's lives will have been saved. You know, it was only a few years ago. I guess it was in 2020.
I guess if you're really a piece of garbage like this guy is, and you're really not that bright, and you're a massive grifter, I guess you probably have to tell yourself this stuff, or you can't go to sleep, unless he's a sociopath. I mean, I don't know him personally. This one I don't know personally. He might be a sociopath. But assuming that he's not a sociopath, he probably has to tell himself this so he can sleep at night when he's grifting all day long.
At the beginning of the pandemic, we noticed a change in patterns in the city in terms of.
Wait a minute. So when you started locking people down that you eagerly agreed to and eagerly got behind, you noticed a change in patterns. Huh. That's odd. You would think that you would literally tell everyone they can't leave their house ever, that there'd be a change in patterns. Weird.
Driving, and not only in the city, all over the place. More people were speeding, more people were disobeying red lights than ever before. It got worse and worse.
There was lockdowns. You moron. You're not the moron. I'm sorry. You're not the moron. You're not. You're savvy. Because you are telling people and they're eating it up. So you know what? I take that back. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. You're the savvy guy who's grifting like there's no tomorrow. So you're making all the money and all the moves. I'm the idiot. I apologize. Take that back. The people listening and agreeing with you, those are the people got to start thinking.
And I couldn't stand it anymore. I mean, even now.
I couldn't stand people breaking my laws. Oh, people changing when I'm locking them down. I could not stand them.
People are just ignoring them.
How dare they?
Ignoring the lights in unprecedented numbers. So we decided to introduce the legislation too.
So we thought, okay, people are ignoring lights. So we thought, what's the good answer? Punishment and grift. This is a great reason to grift. They're ignoring lights. But are massive people dying? No. But is this a reason for us to grift more? Yes. We could make our contractors who give us money, tons of extra money, and they'll give us kickbacks. There we go. Awesome. Because never forget something, guys. In New York City, it is legal to be a political consultant and a public servant. That is legal in my city. So, And then why says, so where is consistent pricing all this? It isn't. That was a $500 million giveaway to contractors. I mentioned that earlier. That's what it was. It was a $500 million giveaway to contractors. And now there's even more of a surveillance state. So now there'll be, give or take, 1,500 cameras across New York City. Now, Mike has already said that London's the number one. We're on our way, Mike. We could be on our way. Just saying.
Significantly expand the number of intersections that have the red light cameras, and I think we should increase that number even more at some point. But
even more, they're not done. They are not done. You thought that you had some privacy. No, that's one of those suggestions, right? In the bills. That's one of them suggestions. You don't got to take that. Your rights. Get out of here. You want more.
But by quadrupling the number of intersections, we know that behavior is going to be changed. It's not only the people who know that, well, this intersection has a red light camera, but that'll affect their behavior not only there, but in other places as well.
He knows what you should be doing. Listen to him.
If we can change people's driving habits, that really will have a significant impact on safety in the city of New York. And
here we go.
And for the people who don't know where the red light cameras are, and it's not going to be a state secret, you can see the cameras.
Yep.
They'll be impacted as well, even more. And I know there are some people who will complain, oh, this is just another way to raise money.
Isn't it nice how somebody, they just have to say the quiet part out loud? They just have to, right? Isn't that crazy? Oh my God. Oh my God. Dave says Larry is legal everywhere. Not federally. It is not federally legal. You cannot do it at the federal level, Dave. It is not legal federally. It's only federal. It's only legal locally. Yes.
Well, actually, if you don't pass a red light, it won't cost you anything.
See that?
It won't cost a penny if you obey the law. And when you disobey a red light, you are breaking the law. And people should not complain if they get a red light ticket having gone past a red light. So
see that? They shouldn't complain. You shouldn't complain when you get a $100 ticket and have to pay for something that they changed the timing in the yellow so that they could get more money. And I'm not making that up. That's true. They changed that. So there we go. Just because some company wants to make even more money, you shouldn't actually pay $50 when you're making, if you're lucky, $20 an hour. That's 2.5 hours of your work gone. See that? Why are you mad? Absolutely. Andrew says, obey us and we won't fine you any more than we already do. Correct. I mean, we're going to fine you, but obey us and you'll only get that fine. See that? I love that. So good. Absolutely. Peace, lots. Thank you for the $5. So things are getting more and more corrupt. What's the breaking point? Are we building to a civil strife? How do we stop it? I would say third parties, but perhaps I'm biased. I would say giving people an actual way of moving forward, an actual way of being heard, getting guys who are talking like me onto a debate stage with guys like him. People can actually see it. Yeah, but they won't do that. They go out of the way to make sure that doesn't happen. RFK Jr., perfect example of that. Tulsi Gabbard, Marianne Williamson, right? Dean was that guy's name. Whatever. I forgot a guy's name. Dean, whatever. That guy too. He can go there. Got rid of them all. Threw me off the ballot in 2022, so I couldn't get there. Yeah. They know that if people talk about it, people might start ignoring it. Yeah. That's the answer. I think I'm right here. So, yes. All righty. See if I can grab here. Greg says, what? It's against the letter of a red light? Really? I know you didn't know that. See? You learn stuff here, Greg. Now that you're here, you've learned that. You did not know that was going to happen. Now you do. There we go. See?
I don't really want to see this as a way to raise revenue, although if money comes in, not such a bad thing. But I want to see this as a way.
I don't want to see it. I mean, it is, but I don't want to see it that way. I mean, money's going to come in. It is. But the way I want to see it is this other way. So I don't want to feel bad about myself. So I'm going to see it this other way. That's what he literally just said.
To really change how people drive, because then we know that lives will truly be saved. And I'm just so pleased that this entire package of bills will be signed.
So he wants all 11. Why? You just said that one you care about is the camera one. That's just one bill. Well, I need 11 of them. And one of them is punishing people who don't do anything worse than they already do, which is that school bus thing.
Today, because throughout the state, this will impact countless numbers of people. So again, Governor, thank you for being about to sign these bills. This will be a great thing for New York. And with that, I'd like to introduce my colleague, State Senator Jamal Bailey from the Bronx, who's going to speak on his legislation.
All right, here comes more.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Madam Governor, for truly taking traffic safety seriously. I live the life through the lens of my children. And one of the first things that
How weak are you? What a liar are you? Either one. To say you live your life, what a panderer, through the lens of my children. No, you don't. No, or something's wrong with you. Now you're concerned about your children, of course, but you look at life as if you're through your children. That's all that matters is your kids. Nothing else matters to you. That's just shit. He said he makes that up because he wants to sound like I killed the children. The children. He's a grifter like all the rest of them. He's just a grifter. Yes, another grifter.
My two oldest have learned in school were about these traffic lights you see behind me. It's a very simple concept that red means stop, green means go. And
see, Greg, this is helping you out. You didn't know this. Now you know. And I bet there were literally millions of New Yorkers who didn't know that. No, everybody knows it. He's just saying stupid stuff because he's talking about children.
Yellow means hold on, wait a minute. Now, we shouldn't have to wait a minute to save lives. We shouldn't have to wait to make people realize that the most precious currency that we will ever have is our people, and most specifically, our children. We should not have to wait to make people take the learned behavior that they've had, because driving is a learned behavior. Driving is something that we learn. We have to learn how to use the...
I didn't know that. I thought we grew... This guy, Captain Obvious. Awesome. I appreciate it. Did you know that? See, Greg, you're learning all kind of stuff now. Not only is red stop and green go, not only is that true, but on top of it, did you know you have to learn to drive? Were you aware of that? You didn't know it, did you? This is an educational show. If you want to drive, you have to learn. And this guy here, he is here to help us out. He is here to let us know. He is here to let us know these things. That's why we hired him to be our dad. I need a dad, and now I got a dad. I love that. I love that. Joel says that's Kamala Harris' approach, explaining the painfully obvious. Yes, he's on board with that. Yes, 100%. Yes, 100%. That's good. So, peace. Thank you for the 499. Clearly, cars is the problem. Elon's about to automate this problem away. No, Elon's evil because he's not a Democrat. So stop that. Number one. Number two, let's just ban all cars. And AC's on board with that. So we just ban all the cars. So good. But first, he's to tell us that incident events like people are dumb as S. They don't know. He thinks that. He thinks that's true. He's teaching us that we need to learn how to. I didn't know you learn how to drive. Greg didn't know either.
Brake and use the gas and
that's how
everything is set. Well, we also have to learn to respect other people.
We have to learn to respect other people because we don't see that. And you know what makes you respect the people? Laws. That makes you respect the people. Laws. I get it.
Respect the lives of the children that walk around every day.
I don't respect lots of children. I need to learn that. That's my problem. I just want to run them all over. This is insanely stupid. This guy's a freaking moron. This guy is a moron. The other guy wasn't. This guy is a moron. And he thinks we're all stupid too. Right? And again, the number of kids killed, she didn't give one answer. None. 29 dead. She didn't say how many were kids. Didn't even mention that they were kids. And the school bus thing she just threw in to be for the children, and 0 died because of that. So they just made children. There is no such thing. There's no problem with children. It's not a thing. They just made this up so that if you don't do this, you hate kids, which we know Joel does hate kids. That's fine. That's
the
just
parents that drop their kids off, and the anguish in these families that sometimes when it happens, like in the city of Mount Vernon, which our great mayor will talk about, when a life is lost. There should not be one life lost due to running a red light.
Not one, if one life is saved. Never forget that.
It is the most basic of things that we learn in the driver's manual. Hell, it's the most basic thing that we learn in school. Red means stop. It does not mean let me inch up a little bit. It does not mean let me go across. It does not mean I'm late for work. It's okay for me to pass this. No, it means stop. And when you have these cameras to correct this behavior, it will stop it.
It will. We have cameras. Okay, he said it. You heard it here. When you put the 450 cameras in, that's the exact amount of police state we need to make everybody stop dying in the streets. Done. Okay, you know what? We'll see. A year from now, whenever they get put in, it'll go late because they've got to get extra cash. So 2 years from now, when it's all put in, then no one will die in the streets anymore. Okay, brother, I'm in.
And it will make people think twice about what they're doing and how they're doing it and where they're doing it, which is why it's so important to make sure that we have this in the greatest little city in the state. See, I get to represent the Bronx and the city of Mount Vernon. If you close your eyes, and I don't recommend you do this while you're driving.
Do we have to learn behavior?
Close your eyes on Bussing Avenue, then you're on Kingsbridge Road. The city of Mount Vernon and the Bronx are inextricably intertwined, and we always will be, not just in terms of streets, but in terms of the people that we share. And it's really important that we have authorized this, and I'm excited that I have a partner in government who not only welcomed this, but called me and said, we need to have this reauthorized. We need to make sure that the city of Mount Vernon is able to.
Daniel says Dean Phillips. Thank you. Dean Phillips is the other guy that was there. I appreciate that. Peace, Laz. Thank you for the $4, Ben. 49, sorry. Larry, how do we get invited to these stupid events? Is there a fine for heckling and throwing rotten tomatoes at them? A spectacle fine? No. I've been to these before, believe it or not. You can go. They're often open to the public. You can go. The issue is if you go there and you say something bad, they will throw you out. They'll escort you out. If you go into the government building in Albany, that's where this is. It's a government building in Albany. You go to that building, they have these little rooms like this where you go to and the press sits in and you show up. So this is a room inside a government building is what this is. I've been here before. So yeah, that's why. That's what you can go. It's open to the public usually, but they don't tell you when. So you have to know the press will often show up. The press, by the way, is actually in the same building. I'm serious. The press is in the same building. So you can literally just go outside out of your office, walk around and go into the press. When I was running for governor, I'd often go there and try to get interviewed. So I'd go into the press building and try to get interviews from all the press. It's actually in the same building. So yes, that is the unholy alliance they have. Is that a good word? Unholy alliance?
To continue its path towards prosperity and making sure that traffic safety is taken seriously. She's an incredible mayor. She was a little bit mad at me because of the color sneaker choice that I had today.
He's wearing sneakers.
She'll talk to you about that later. But I'm incredibly proud to introduce my good friend, the mayor of the great city of Mount Vernon, Sean Patterson Howard.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank our governor, Kathy Hochul, for.
Wow, hold on. If they ever start thanking Kathy Hochul, it's because a check came. I wish I was joking. I'm not. That means her city's getting a check. Then that's why I thank you for the check I got because now I got to pay back all my people who I need to pay back. The grift is strong.
Expanding and renewing red light cameras and making sure our community is safe. I stand here today in memory of Drew Faustin, a 9-year-old who on May 9th, 2019, after attending his after-school program, going across the street to the bodega before he went to choir rehearsal at his church, which was less than a half a block away from his school, was struck by a minivan and killed instantly.
Okay. If you lost your kid that way, that's horrible. No doubt. No doubt. The person she brings up is one kid 5 years ago. One kid 5 years ago. And the question I was asked is, was that guy a legal driver? Was that guy drunk? I don't know if he was or not, but that's the question I'd ask. And it's one time 5 years ago. So we should spend $2 billion on this. And you might go, Larry, that sounds cruel. I get it. But if you're governor of 18 million people and hundreds of thousands of them are fleeing your state every year, literally pack them. We have a thing in New York State called zombie houses. I'm not making this up. Zombie houses. It's when people are so fed up and broken, they just pack up and leave their house and just walk away. They don't care if they have a lease. They don't care if they have a mortgage. They just leave. and people go by, wait a minute, is this house? Someone in this house? No one's cut the lawn in like 8 weeks. Huh? And they go in and it's all gone. Just lights left. They don't care. They don't care. That's how bad this state is. And their answer is 11 laws because one kid was killed 5 years ago. Or you can make the state more livable so people won't leave. I know that sounds harsh, but if you're a governor of 18 million people, you need to think that way and not be moved by more and more reasons to grift. This is a $2 billion grift to save the children, with the only kid they've mentioned is one that was 5 years ago. And when asked about the school bus one, nobody, zero, nobody's dying from that. That's not even a thing. We just made more fines and more fees. We made New York less livable. We punished more New Yorkers for a problem that isn't a problem. In a state of 18 million people, this is not a problem. It just isn't. I don't mean to be cruel. It just isn't. You have to think that way if you're going to be governor of New York State. You have to. Got a little pissy. I apologize. Guys, click the like button. Keep me calm. Click the button that known as like. Hit it somehow with whatever independence you have. Share it if you haven't shared it. Please share it. If you have not subscribed or followed my pages, why not subscribe and or follow them? Thank you so much for the super chats. All you guys are super chatting. To become a member, please do so. Click that join button either on Sharpe Way or on Larry Sharpe YouTube, either YouTube channel. Both of them available. Click that join button. $5 per month keeps me going. I spend more time doing this and less time doing other things, which I want to do more of this, and that's how we do it. So yes, Pieces want to say, LOL, the grift is strong. Yes, these are not the drugs you're looking for, Jedi Mind Trick. Yes, the grift is strong. It is so strong in this, my friend Peace. It is so strong. It's crazy. You are totally correct. Yes.
And so thank you, because this means a lot to our community in memory of Drew. Mount Vernon says, "Police state go Burr for all." And this bill goes a long way in helping us to bring forth our traffic safety plan in the city of Mount Vernon. We are a complete streets community, and we want to make sure that our community and that the quality of life in our community increases.
Okay, that's not okay. You're a mayor and you're looking to make all things. That's not a bad. Okay, maybe I've misjudged her. That's not a bad thing. You're a mayor. You want to make sure your streets are okay. We'll keep going. Let's see here.
Because of mobility and accessibility for all. We want to make sure that our children and our seniors are safe as they're crossing the streets and as they're moving throughout the city. One of the things, and Assemblyman Dinowitz mentioned it, since COVID, people have kind of lost their sense of responsibility.
Okay, no, my dear. Now you're messing up. Not since COVID. Since the lockdowns that you eagerly enforced. Let me be very clear. Since the lockdowns that you eagerly enforced, since you took away our rights, remember that the Bill of Suggestions, you got rid of that? You just made the suggestions in that Bill of Rights. Remember that? You took it all away. You took away our autonomy. You took away our ability to do whatever we wanted to do. You got rid of us all. And you acted like, well, why'd act like kids? Because you treated us like one. You sent us off to our room and said, we can't come out or we'll arrest you. You said, you must do what we say or we won't let you go play outside. That's what you did to us. Did you forget that part? I didn't forget that. I remember that very vividly.
And in our communities and on our streets every day, we see cars speeding, not just on the main roads, but on our secondary and our tertiary roads. People are disregarding red lights. Yellow lights don't mean wait. It means go faster to get through the red light, so that you don't get caught by the red light. And that is a hazard to the residents in our community. Yes, we're seeing more car accidents.
Okay, if you're on tertiary roads, why aren't you having speed bumps? Even secondary roads, words in theory, why aren't you doing that? Yes. Sarah says, hi, Sharpies. I filled out my voter's ballot today. One of the congressman positions had just one choice I didn't like, so I voted in Larry Sharpe. I may be a congressman in Oregon one day. Could happen. Could happen.
Accidents. And yes, we've seen people be hit. And so red light cameras are not about.
Okay, we've seen people be hit. Again, no data, hardly happens. Again, not a problem.
About revenue. It's about saving.
Why do you have to say it's not about revenue? right? See, okay. I thought maybe she was good, but no, she's not. She's like all the rest. Okay. I thought maybe, but no. She's like, it's not about revenue. It's not. Stop. I didn't say it was revenue. You did. It's not about revenue. It's about revenue.
Lives. We're not looking to increase revenue. We're looking to save.
We're not. Why do you keep saying we're looking to increase revenue? We're not looking to increase revenue. You're looking to increase revenue. That's her.
Save lives. And this will definitely do it. Red light cameras are traffic calming measures.
Traffic calming measures. That's what they are. See, all you people out there who aren't calm, you should drive by speed cameras and you'll be calm. See, she cares about you.
Cameras are traffic calming measures. And so many people in the community have asked over and over as we've paved our streets. And thank you for continuing to send money down for.
Bingo, there's a check. I told you they only say thank you when a check is being written, and there it is. And thank you for sending all that paving money down. We didn't have any money, and it's not about revenue, though. It's not about revenue, but thank you for the paving cash. And this is not about revenue. Oh, yeah, I think you want some more paving cash. I think you do.
A highway paving in our communities. But one of the things that protected us in Mount Vernon for a long time was potholes. You had a lot of.
She's a mayor and she's laughing about potholes. I wouldn't laugh about potholes if I was the mayor. If you're the mayor, one of the jobs is to get rid of the potholes. You're the mayor. If I was the mayor of a small city, potholes would be a big deal for me. Like, I would really want to fix the goddamn potholes. Yeah. So she's laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you for that money because we fixed them potholes. Yeah.
Potholes on the street, people had to slow down. But now, as we've paved over 400, 500 streets in our community.
That's how bad your streets were. You had to pave 500 streets, 500 of them. That's how bad it was. Oh my God.
We're seeing people speeding more and more. And speed humps are not the answer.
Why not?
Because the more speed humps you put in your community, the more difficult it is for your emergency services to get throughout your community.
Okay, so no speed bumps because emergency services. Okay, put your speed bumps on your secondary and tertiary roads. Could still work.
To do the jobs that they need to do critically. And so red light cameras will go a long way in helping to reduce speeding and increase traffic calming measures and making sure that we don't have more Drews or more Miss Anns or anything like that who are.
Drews was the kid from 5 years ago.
Who are losing their lives in our city. So again, I want to say thank you.
Thank you for the check.
We look forward to working with you on this because safe streets for all in the state of New York.
Safe streets for all. I think Mike Voss just threw up a little bit in his mouth. Yes, safe streets for all. I love it. I love that.
Is something that everyone deserves, and
we deserve it. You deserve it in New York. That's a right. We're going to change the Bill of Rights. You don't have a right to privacy? No. A right to free speech? No. A right to, Second Amendment? No. You have a right to safe streets.
Be a part of this initiative. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you. Please remain seated as we sign.
I'm not going to have you watch the signing. That I don't want to punish you anymore. I think I punished you all enough. So yes. Peace Logic, again, thank you for the 49. Did they know lockdowns would be destructive, ignorant, or malicious? How did they get rich doing this? Of course. They didn't care. They just knew that if they locked things down, they could bring in big business. The lockdowns were one of the most massive transfer of wealth that there's ever been. And it's been done because it brought a bunch of cash from small businesses into big business. That's all it did. And big business are their biggest donors. So they made all the biggest donors even bigger. So it made big real estate big finance big, big tech big. Big pharma got big. That's what it actually did. It made all the bigger donors even more. That's why if you look now, when it comes to the election now, so much is run by big business. So much of it. Of course. And big donors, the Elon Musk of the world, the Mark Cubans of the world, right? These people made tons of money. It was a massive shift. So yes, absolutely. They knew what they were doing. The goal was to make that happen. Yes, 100%. So any case, Guys, if you like what I did, please hit the like button. It does matter tremendously. I go through this because I was yesterday, the day before, I forgot when it was. Someone was talking about, you guys like when I go through this and explain what this stuff actually means, right? And this is what it means. These things they use, they will later on say, if anybody voted against this, right? Here's the next thing. If someone votes against this, there'll be some Republican assemblyman who will vote against this. He will, or she will. And if that person ever runs for office again, outside of their local area where they're already, remember in New York State, there's a lot of red districts, right? The cities are all blue, but outside of the cities, a lot of them are red. So you find some Republicans here or there who are running and aren't totally on the grift. I mean, many Republicans are totally on the grift, but some aren't. So if all of a sudden you find one who's like, I voted against it. If he ever runs for something else, he runs for mayor of a city, he runs for Senate, he runs for Congress, he runs for governor, they will use this against him. And they'll go, he voted against the children. He wanted kids to be destroyed in the streets. They will use it against him. So they use this not only to grow, but they also use it to ensure they can keep the Republicans in check, right? Because they will use it against them, and 100% they will. So if the Republican votes for it, these are all Democrats who put it all together, right? If the Republican votes for it, then they go, see, he's with us. Republicans are stupid. He's with us. See, he knows we're right. He votes against it. He hates children. So that's how that works. They use it against both here. So yeah, it's a smart move for them. When you care only about power, well done, right? Well done. But when you care about other things, horrible, embarrassingly horrible. So in any case, guys, I want to let you know that tomorrow I will be on at 7. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. I think I'm going to be dealing with a guy who thinks there's a war on cars. Yes, a war on cars. That'd be interesting. But I'm not sure because I think tomorrow, if I'm mistaken, I don't know when, but I know sometime tomorrow, Trump is going to go on Rogan. So I'll be doing some show about that somehow. That might be tomorrow. It might be Saturday. I'm not sure, but I will be doing a show on both Friday and Saturday. I will, and I'll be doing won't be doing a show on Sunday, but I'll be doing a show on Monday also. So I'll be doing a bunch of shows. Hope you guys can all enjoy. Guys, I always say, once you're done with this, please put a comment afterwards. I'll respond to the comments. You know who likes it? Mr. Rhythm. Yes, he does. Mr. Rhythm likes it. Al Gore. Rhythm does like it. So please do that. I appreciate that. Mike says, I will do a prediction show next week. I will, Mike. I'll do a full prediction show next week. What's going to happen? I'll do a whole thing next week. I will do when I will not back out. I know I've been remiss because it's been so damn tight, but I'm starting to think. So I will give you something next week. I will see you all very soon.